JJ the CPA here. We're going to talk about banking secrets, and we're going to talk about what to memorize during the sit with the bank. It's going to be a number of things you're going to need prepared for, so watch the other videos as it relates to the sit. But here's what you need to memorize, right? I'm talking about some key things. First, what did you gross last year? What were your costs last year? And what did you net last year before you paid yourself? Okay, I know you can get proud of what you paid yourself, but they want to know what it is before you paid yourself. They're going to want to know the same numbers for this year, and you're going to have them, but you do need to know through what period. You can't just say year to date. So if you got financials through June 30 and you're talking to them in August, you say through June 30. So you want to be able to just spout that. Say last year I grossed 1.6 mil. Our costs were 800,000. And we netted 250,000 before compensation to me, and then year to date through June 30, we've done 1.2 million. Our costs have been 600,000, and the net before my compensation has been 145,000. They're going to want to know if you're doing anything that's related to a widget. You know, what are you selling kind of on average each widget? And if you've got several widgets, you're selling several products, you're selling the radio, and you're selling the belt loop that holds it, and if you're doing a service, things like that. But they are going to want to know. So let's just take the service industry for a minute. We'll take my industry, and we say we have 2,000 clients. Our average billable rate is X, and we expect this year that we will bring in another 10% clients, and we're going to increase our fees 5% next year. If you're selling widgets, you can say, our best seller is $48. The cost on that is $12. Our second best seller is $96, and our cost on that is $36. So you don't have to know every single product. And then if they say, well, what product, you're obviously going to know that. You don't need to memorize. Those are the numbers to memorize, okay? Then they're going to go, well, how much money do you have in the bank? And even though you may be banking with them, they may ask, and you don't say, as of today. That is what they're asking, as of today. So you need to know. And then they're going to want to know how many assets you have in the business. You're going to round it, okay? It's on your balance sheet. If you're not sure, then talk with your CPA. It's on your tax return. Says balance sheet right at the top. There's a line item that says total assets. They're going to want to know total liabilities, and then they're going to want to know how much money you've put into the business. So that's a lot. Not really though, because it's no problem to have a kind of a cheat sheet for yourself. You can have some notes for yourself. So what I grossed last year and year to date. What are my costs last year, year to date? What's my net last year, year to date before compensation to me? I'm going to be able to tell them, here's my best seller, or here's our number of clients and our average billing rate. And then here's our cost for those best sellers if it's product, or if you have payroll as your main cost, like with me, it would be, well, here's our average payroll per hourly rate. And then total assets, bam, total liabilities, bam, how much money did you put into the business? And they're not going to be necessarily as concerned with how much you pulled out. It's how much capital did you put in. So you don't need to be nervous. They're not looking for, I put 112,000 and I put 4,000 in this year and 6,000 in the prior. They just want to know total. They're just looking around numbers. They just want to get a feel. They're just trying to do math in their head, so make it simple for them, right? If it's simple for you, it'd be simple for them. So I gross 1.6, right? That's what they're looking for. My costs were 800. My net was 250 before compensation to me. My total assets are 1.2. My total liabilities is 450. I've put just over 100,000 into the bank. So by helping them do math, here's what you're helping them know. Cash flow. We talked about that in other videos. Cash flow, right? Because what they're thinking is, okay, if they brought in 1.2, they're not necessarily impressed with that. What they want to know is, well, what was the cost of that? Because that's what then leads to cover overhead costs as well as the net income, which more importantly is what's going to service the debt. And then knowing kind of what your best seller is, or your average billing rate or how many clients you have, then they can immediately in their mind go, okay, well, if, it's 1.3 mil, you got 2,000 clients, they can probably quickly go, well, how much is it per client rough? And then on total assets, I have 1.2 million. I remember what I just said in liabilities, but let's just say that the liabilities is 300,000. So immediately in their head, they're like, okay, we got 900,000 of equity here. And with assets, that's what they're going to attach themselves to. Meaning that's what they're going to have as collateral. So if you have 1.2 million in assets, they look at it as like, okay, we got a potential of 1.2 million in collateral, but then if you've got 300,000 in liabilities, they go, oh, okay, well, actually we only have 900,000. So if you tell them those things, you're going to be 1 out of 1,000 business owners that are visiting with the bank. They're going to know those numbers. Now, it doesn't just mean like, oh gosh, now they're going to just, give you whatever loan that you want. But man, they're going to probably go a little easier on you with the questions, believe it or not, into your numbers. Now, the questions after that, you'll know, okay? What kind of product, when is your busiest time? A lot of that it is okay to go by feel, meaning don't get caught up that if they're like, well, what's your largest quarter? You go, well, I need to look at my financials. What you're trying to do is just avoid that, okay? Meaning that answer. What you want to do and check out the other videos with the product that I'm going to, or not product, the documents I'm going to tell you to bring. Then you can refer to those. And actually, when they start asking some detailed questions, that's when you're going to really wow them, because you're going to hand out a little folder that's going to have the reports in there that they've either asked for or you just need to have handy for them. So we'll go through that. But I'm telling you, when we're talking about banking secrets, it's not about how to get a loan when you don't deserve it. It's not how to trick the bank in any way, shape, or form, because that's just fraud. This is how to approach a bank to make sure you're borrowing what you need, an appropriate amount that you can pay it back, and that you're presenting it in a way that the bank's going to know whether or not it's a good bet for them. Because I'm telling you this, if a bank thinks it's a good bet, it's also a good indicator for you that it's a good bet on your expansion or your new startup. So remember, you're not selling the product, right? You're not selling them the fishing rod you're making. You're not selling them to hire you for you to be their attorney. They're not interested in buying per se. They're interested in your business. So it's a very, very different approach. All right. So get ready for some other videos. I love it that you're listening and that you're a part of this, and I know it's going to help you, and I appreciate you. All right.
Don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.